Hey, what's going on, everyone? Appreciate y'all coming here and checking out this video. It's going to be a little bit of a different one. I'm just going to compile a bunch of my older videos that I made going to different real locations in Fallout 76, comparing them to in-game as just one big video. Hope you all find this enjoyable, and this is something you could just unwind to and just watch. So yeah, on that note, if you do find this kind of long-form content enjoyable, consider leaving a like on it. Your support is greatly appreciated. After all, doing all this traveling and getting comparisons of these real locations took me forever. So I decided to just make it like a movie, basically, for you guys. Be sure to use the timestamps as well if you want to navigate to different parts of this video. Hope you all find this enjoyable. So in this Fallout 76 video, I'm going to be showing off the developers' hard work over the game. I'm going to be showing you how accurate Bethesda got the Whitespring Resort in game compared to real life. I actually went to West Virginia in the past and got a bunch of footage over the Whitespring Resort in real life to make this video. So yeah, this took some serious dedication to make. Let's get into this. So to start this off, I guess we should cover the name of it in real life. The Whitespring Resort is actually called the Greenbrier in real life and is located in West Virginia, White Sulphur Springs. They got the name White Sulphur Springs from the sulphur springs that are located around the place. So it seems like that's how Bethesda came up with the name Whitespring Resort. They named it similar to where the building is located at in real life. As you can see, here is how the front of the Whitespring Resort looks like in real life compared to in game. I gotta say, the developers nailed this. Not only did they do a great job implementing the building in-game, but they also did a great job implementing the landscaping too. Keep in mind, I visited here when it was cold, so the flowers weren't bloomed quite yet, and there were no leaves on the trees at the time either. But either way, as you can see, it is set up extremely similar to in-game. Anyways, here's how it looks like at night as well. And this is how it looks like in the game. Once again, Bethesda did a phenomenal job implementing all of this. They even added the Greenbrier transportation buses in-game. Actually, this one I saw in real life was parked around the same area as the one you see in-game. And that's because that's one of the areas they go to drop people off at the Greenbrier. But yeah, now let's go ahead and check out the back of the building. As you can see, this is what it looks like in Fallout 76. And here's what it looks like compared to real life. Gotta say, once again, they nailed it. Absolutely amazing how accurate Bethesda got this building. Here's another point of view of the back of the building. As you also might have noticed, they even got the Greenbrier shuttle bus in the same spot once again, too, back here. This is where it would arrive to pick up and drop off people. But yeah, another insane detail is how they set up the monument that's out back of the building, too. They also got this pretty accurate in-game as well. It just doesn't say the exact same thing. I will say it is kind of hard to make out what it says in game, but as you see, it states from 1858 to 2058, the Whitespring, Jewel of the Mountains, commemorating 2 centuries of exceptional hospitality for the most distinguished and discerning guests. For generations, presidents and royalty, generals and statesmen, executives and scholars, ladies and gentlemen of worth have taken refuge here, amid the pristine Appalachian wilderness. May Whitespring's healing waters ever be a balm for the trials of the wider world. So yeah, that's what it states and looks like in game. Here's what it looks like in states in real life. As you can see, from 1858 to 1922, here stood a famous hostelry affectionately known as the Old White. Once the pride of the Old Dominion, whose gracious hospitality, beautiful surroundings, and healing waters gained national renown and made it the object of many a pilgrimage. Here gathered from the north and south great generals, famous statesmen and philanthropists, lovely ladies, and reigning belles who left upon the silent shore of memory images and precious thoughts that shall not die and cannot be destroyed. Erected by its successor, the Greenbrier, 1940. So yeah, it's pretty similar to what it says on the monument too. Definitely a detail that could be easily overlooked. But yeah, now let's go ahead and head on over to the spring house where the sulfur spring well is located at. That's located right over here across the street from the back of the building. This gravel path will lead over to the well. As you can see, here it is. This is what it looks like in game. And here's what it looks like at the actual place. The statue and all is at the top. Absolutely insane how they implemented all of this detail in game to look just like in real life. It's pretty mind-blowing. Bethesda did an amazing job with details.
Echo! Help! Oh, fall out.
So yeah, as you heard, there's also an echo that you'll get while being around in this area. And I will say also, it absolutely stinks around this well too. That's something you don't get to experience in game, of course. But yeah, something else interesting about this place in game is that it actually does have healing water for you. As we read from that monument and learned about this place having healing waters, if you go up and drink out of this water fountain specifically, the sulfur water fountain that's found around the well, it'll actually heal your diseases that you have when you drink it. So yeah, pretty convenient to come here if you don't have anything to take care of your diseases. And hey, even if you do, this is a way to save so you don't have to use an item to take care of your diseases. But yeah, anyways, now let's go ahead and head on over to the fire station that's outside the Greenbrier. As you can see, here's what it looks like in game, and here's what it looks like at the actual place. Gotta say, they got it pretty spot on. It's just a smaller building with less space and garage doors, and it doesn't have fire department vehicles inside. It just has fire rescue robots in game. But yeah, not only did the developers get the outside of this place accurate, they also nailed the inside too. Let's go ahead and head on in and take a look at how they did. As you can see, here's a quick tour of going this route when entering through the front entrance of the Whitespring Resort. As you can see, this is what it currently looks like passing by the shops in game. Keep in mind, this footage that I got here was before the Pit DLC ever came out, so that's the reason why I'm able to access the mall area down here without having to go through a loading screen. But yeah, anyways, here's how it looks in real life taking the same route past the shops. I gotta say, when I actually traveled here for my first time, it felt like I had already been here because of playing around in this area in game. Like, I already knew where pretty much everything was around the Greenbrier, and I'd never even been there before. It's seriously insane how accurate they got this place compared to real life. You could tell the developers paid close attention to all the details around to implement them in the game so accurately with this. Of course, in the game, things are more condensed compared to real life, but that's because if things were exactly accurate with distance too, let's just say it would take so long to travel to areas around the game. And not to mention, the download size would be ridiculously huge. So having things more compact in game, makes complete sense. They even added the furniture and decorations you can find at the Greenbrier in the game, such as the unique mirrors are exactly where you can find them at the front entrance. I mean, as you can see here, you can find them set up exactly the same while being there in real life. And the unique trash cans you can find around this place are inspired from the Greenbrier too. Another example would be these chairs right here next to this lamp. They're set up the exact same way as you would see them at the actual place. But yeah, that's just to show a few examples. I'm not going to sit here and show you every single detail that they got right inside of here, but let's just say Bethesda pretty much added everything you would see at the actual place in game. Yeah, sure, it may not look exactly identical, but for the most part, they definitely did a great job implementing all of this in game. And also, for those of you that are wondering, as some of you know, there is a nuclear bunker underneath the Whitespring Resort. Well, there's also a nuclear bunker underneath of it in real life, too. You can actually do tours of it. Unfortunately, however, you're not able to record down there, so I wasn't able to get any footage of the actual bunker. However, there is one that's underneath this place. So Bethesda also got that accurate too. It was actually kept secret from the public for quite some time. Only certain higher up people knew about the bunker in real life in case of an emergency popping off, such as like Congress members and the president. Kind of crazy to think about. It was kept a secret right underneath people's noses that came here and visited. The people who were staying here to visit or whatever wasn't even aware that there was a nuclear bunker underneath of them. Pretty insane. So a while back ago, I traveled to West Virginia, Point Pleasant, also known as the home of the Mothman, and checked out the Mothman Museum. I wanted to go and check this place out because this is the only Mothman museum in the world. And the Mothman in general is an interesting phenomenon that was apparently seen in real life. Also, the museum is in one of my favorite games, Fallout 76, so I wanted to see how well Bethesda did on implementing it in game. Let's just say they did a phenomenal job. So overall, it was a pretty neat experience getting to see and visit the actual place. I actually have already made a video over comparing Bethesda's work of Point Pleasant and the Mothman Museum compared to real life. If you want to check that out, a link to it will be in the description, and it'll also pop up on the screen at the end of this video. So yeah, I recommend checking that out if you are interested on how well Bethesda did implementing this area in game. Anyways, outside of the Mothman Museum, you can find the Mothman statue next to it, and on it has a plaque that states this: Legend of the Mothman. On a chilly fall night in November 1966, two young couples drove into the TNT area north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when they realized they were not alone. What they saw that night has evolved into one of the great mysteries of all time, hence the Mothman legacy began. It has grown into a phenomenon known all over the world by millions of curious people asking questions. What really happened? What did these people see? Has it been seen since? It still sparks the world's curiosity, the mystery behind Point Pleasant, West Virginia's Mothman. And at the bottom it reads how Bob Roach from New Haven, West Virginia created the Mothman statue. So yeah, this got me even more interested in the place where the Mothman was first seen at. So I decided to go and ask the employee that's inside the Mothman Museum about the TNT bunkers. And he gave me directions on how to exactly get there and where around to get out of my car at to find the bunkers in the woods. He also mentioned to me how they have done tours to the TNT bunkers so people got to see where the Mothman was first sighted around. The tours happen when the Mothman festivals take place. They take people within a bus over to the TNT bunkers and also talk a little bit about the history on the way over there. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description to a video over the Mothman tours, just in case you want to learn how the tours go. And also in the video, it provides more information over the Mothman, as well as the history of the TNT bunkers, and not to mention, Jeff Wamsley leads the tour in the video, which is the guy who opened up the Mothman Museum back in 2005. Feel free to check it out sometime. It is pretty educational over all of this. But yeah, anyways, after I was done talking to that employee and finding out where the TNT bunkers were exactly located at, I decided, after checking out the Mothman Museum, to drive over to where the Mothman was first sighted at, over at the TNT bunkers, which was once again in the woods around the TNT bunkers. The GPS doesn't really help with getting to the bunkers because they are in the woods after all, but they can be found in the woods down Potters Creek Road. Keep in mind, this is fast forward footage that I'm showing y'all majorly, so yeah, I am doing the speed limit on this road. Figured I'd let y'all know that. But yeah, down this road called Potters Creek, right around up here is where I decided to park at. As you can see, there's a guardrail right around at this area where I parked at, and behind the guardrail was a path that I could walk on that leads in the woods. And well, here's how the journey went checking out the TNT storage igloos. Okay, so I believe we're here. We're in the middle of nowhere. It's right up past this guardrail here, so guess let's go check this out. Find out if it's it first. Okay, that's looking like a massive hill right there. that's it. It's not far back at all. Wow. Yep. Here it is. It's crazy. So, yeah, this was the first bunker that we came across in the woods. It wasn't too far in after passing the guardrail. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous entering inside of it just because I didn't know if there was someone, hiding on the other side of it. I don't know. I was just a little anxious entering, so I was like checking angles before even entering the bunker. I mean, I know my dog would have alerted me if there was someone inside of there, but still, my mind was just wandering. I was just thinking maybe there's someone right on the other side. As soon as I enter in the door, they're going to try to knock me out or pull a gun out on me or something and then lock me inside. I don't know. I was just thinking all kinds of crazy stuff. But hey, it's better to be safe than sorry, especially how we're out in the woods in the middle of nowhere during hunting season. I gotta say, it would be terrifying getting locked inside of these bunkers. And you gotta think, it's not even dark outside at the moment in this footage. Just imagine how dark it gets when it gets nighttime around here. Actually, it'd be difficult to get any footage here at nighttime just because of how dark it would actually be. But yeah, your echo sounds absolutely insane in here too. Check this out. So we got graffiti right here before entering, and that echo. Echo. Whoa. What's that say? That echo sounds so weird. So as you can see, it's massive in here. It's definitely bigger than in the game. People kind of ruined this place by graffitiing everywhere. What the heck? Is that supposed to be the Flatwoods lawsuit? So yeah, this is the first one. Yeah, the door is pretty insane. That's supposed to be the lock. Jeez. Crazy. Back up a little bit. So yeah, that's what it sounded like in there. Your echo is on a whole nother level. Gotta say, it was a pretty unique experience though. And as I mentioned, it is bigger in real life than compared to the game. Also, the TNT bunkers would have been more camouflage and had more greenery around them and would have looked a little bit more accurate too in game if I didn't come here around when it was cold. But yeah, Bethesda did a phenomenal job implementing these TNT bunkers. They even implemented in-game on the TNT bunker doors the same kind of unique door locks that you can find on the doors in real life, as you can see. Pretty awesome. Nice attention to detail. But yeah, in case you don't know where the TNT bunkers are located at in Fallout 76, they're located over here at the Black Mountain Ordnance Works, which is around Point Pleasant, just like in real life. There's supposedly tons of these TNT domes. I think, if I read correctly, 100 of them. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out a few more, see what we can find. In that one, there was just a bunch of graffiti. It seems like some kids probably came here and just were bored one day and decided to leave their mark, or teens or whatever, you get what I'm saying. Definitely just feels crazy being here, checking it out in person. So here's a side view of the hill. Pretty wild. Looks like some sort of tunnel system right there, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like there was a tunnel inside. Alright. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and try to find some more to show you all. I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so this next one that I stumbled upon was extremely hidden. And keep in mind, this was, once again, when it was cold around the area. I couldn't even imagine trying to find this place when there's a lot of greenery around. It would be highly camouflaged. This one was also surrounded by a creek that kind of flows around it. Thought that was pretty neat. And yeah, once again, I decided to check my surroundings before entering into this place, just because it's kind of eerie entering into these bunkers out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. But yeah, once I checked around in the place, I stepped on inside and realized that this one was a little different than the first TNT bunker. There's actually loads of sand on the ground in here, and there was water surrounding the outer part of inside of here, as you can see. And I also noticed that there was something spelled out in the sand in here too. I didn't know what it was at first, but yeah, as you can see, someone spelled out help in the sand in here. Thought that was kind of eerie. But if you could see above, help wasn't so eerie. Yeah, that was actually kind of funny when I first saw it. I was like, wait, what is that? And then I realized and just started laughing. I also noticed that there was no graffiti in this bunker too. I'm assuming that's because less people find this one. It is more hidden than the first one that we encountered right in the beginning of the woods. This one was deeper in the woods than the first one that we found. So there's around 100 of these domes back here. We're going to try to find one more that we can enter inside. But yeah, it's pretty cool out here, guys. It's nasty water right there. Definitely don't drink that, Rusty. Some litter. I'll pick that up. We're going to try to find one more. I figured this would be something you guys would enjoy, you know, actually getting to see the locations in real life. I gotta say, these TNT domes are definitely eerie. I mean, just look at that. You can't really tell that's a dome. I mean, you can, but it's like so concealed with all of the brush around it. It's crazy. Random tire on top of the tree here. That's so weird. Someone took the time to put that on there too. Think about that. Man, this is a nice creek though. Alright. It's good that we did find another one. They're kind of tricky to find because they're so concealed. They're very hidden. That's for sure. We got another one over here to check out. Hopefully we don't find a giant in this one. There are some jokesters back here though. That was kind of funny. The help creating the eeriness and then just a on top. We're like, what is that? What is that? And then we get, what the heck's on my camera? That was weird. Then we get a little closer and it's like, oh, we got you. You just looked at a dag on it. Alright, here we are at another one. This one has a sign on it. Looks like a newer door on this one. That's weird. What's it say? We're not entering this one. Warning. This area is a restricted area. What? As you can see on this TNT bunker, it had a sign, and I had no idea what the sign said until I got closer to it. I found out it states this: warning, warning, this area is a restricted area, West Virginia Ordnance Center, private government contractor. No trespassing or hunting or fishing permitted in this area. Please return to state-owned hunting and fishing grounds. 1,000 feet that way or 500 feet that way. Unauthorized weapons may be subject to confiscation. This is a federally regulated facility monitored by the FBI and ATB. Okay. We're not entering there. Come on, Rusty. Come on. As soon as I saw what this sign said, though, I immediately just got away from it like the sign said to. The igloo is restricted for a reason. I just accidentally came across this one. I thought that was pretty insane. This one was pretty deep in the woods, too, I will mention. But yeah, after I saw that one, I decided to check out one more since I didn't really get to go inside that one since it was a restricted one. But yeah, after I did finally find another one, as you can see, here's what the last one that I found looked like. I did notice that this one also had a lot of graffiti around in it, but this one was also closer to the road, like the first one that I showed y'all. But yeah, after I checked out this one, I decided to just head out. Alright, so that was a fun adventure. We're back here at the car now, and look at all this litter I found. This is what all I accumulated back there, and keep in mind, I didn't have a garbage bag, so I couldn't get that much, but yeah. If I would have known there was so much trash, I would have brought a garbage bag so I could collect a little bit more. But yeah, I guess I'm going to recycle what I got. But yeah, there you have it, everyone. Hopefully you found this enjoyable. I decided to actually go out to West Virginia and just show you things firsthand that's in Fallout 76. I thought some of you may find this enjoyable. For those of you that are extremely far from West Virginia and can't really experience this yourself. I'm only like 4 hours away or 3 hours away or so I decided to just come out here myself. So carrying on here with the little series I got going on with locations in Fallout 76 compared to real life, In this one, we're going to be touring Camden Park, which is an actual amusement park in West Virginia. The sign looks dead on the one in game. It's just Mr. Fuzzy. And in real life, it's a clown. And you can see the amusement park a little past the sign, just like how it's set up in game. Let's do this. I am excited to tour this, and I went with my family, so I may get some reviews from them too. Yeah, let's do this, guys. So they got the entrance too at the same spot. I'll be giving y'all a full experience over going to Camden Park. I wouldn't have even known about this if it wasn't a location in Fallout 76, and they did a great job replicating this in game compared to real life. And I got to say, coming here was a blast. I genuinely had a great time, and my family did too. I'm glad I took the trip because I feel like this was a good core memory for everyone. This is a great place to take the family, or just to go out on a date here too. Camden Park is located in Huntington, West Virginia. Definitely worth a trip to come out here sometime and show them some support. I'm sure they would appreciate more business, which is one of the reasons why I'm deciding to make this video. And no, I'm not being sponsored by them or anything. I just genuinely want to help this small town amusement park. And the prices for getting into this amusement park isn't that horrible compared to other amusement parks. As you can see, it's only $22.99. And you can get a season pass for $104.99, as well as an all-season parking pass for $29.99. Which, by the way, it does cost to park here. It's $8 to park if you just park for the day. So overall, not too horrible, especially with the memories you'll make here. But yeah, I'll have a link down below in the description to their website where you can purchase the tickets online to save you some money. The website also has their address and the hours of operation and more. Feel free to check that out. Like I mentioned before, this small town amusement park would definitely appreciate the support. After all, a fun fact, it is the only remaining amusement park in West Virginia. Speaking of support, if you get hungry, the food isn't that pricey here for it being an amusement park especially. Food is on the cheaper side. And also they have a gift shop here too, which you can find right from the entrance here. It's located over here in this building through these double doors. In here you can find loads of different Camden Park merchandise, such as cups, t-shirts, pins, and even magnets. I actually got me a magnet and I put it on my fridge. So yeah, definitely be sure to check out the gift shop while you are here. It's nice and cool in here too, with the air conditioning on. And also there's a arcade place to play at in here too. But yeah, now let's go ahead and get into the rides and setup. First off, do you recognize this sign? You see this sign plenty in game. The developers did a great job replicating this in the game. This sign is a map for the amusement park to let you know where the rides and stuff are located at. When I first saw this at Camden Park, I got excited because I recognized this immediately from the game. Anyway, speaking of where things are located at, let's go ahead and get into the rides and where they are located at compared to Fallout 76. So when first entering into the park, as you will see in the game, the entrance to this big roller coaster is actually located to our right, and it's called the Widowmaker. In real life, this big roller coaster is located to our left, and it's actually called the Big Dipper. This is the biggest roller coaster that Camden Park has. And by the way, the developers did compact everything in the game, so everything is closer in the game in comparison of size. However, I will say the setup design over this roller coaster's tracks is set up pretty daggone similar compared to real life. I'll go ahead and give you all a point of view over going on this, and also, most importantly, a review of it too. The developers did a good job replicating this in game. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it is really identical. This is what it looks like when you're getting on the Big Dipper, and I gotta say, the lines were really short and fast. At least today we went, which is awesome. And no, there's nothing like in the center of the roller coaster like there is in game.
These are huge seats.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
You excited?
Why these seats are so huge?
Well, they make sure you're in there.
I sound like knees for the slide.
Alright, here we go. What'd you think of it?
It was a great ride.
Yeah?
But it was really high.
Yeah.
But
Remind you of the Beast from Kings Island a little bit?
yeah, but it has a long jump, and this ride is smaller than the Beast.
Yeah.
Way smaller.
Yeah, it's smaller than the Beast, but that tunnel.
Reminds me of the Beast.
Yeah, the tunnel did? Yeah, it reminds you of it? All right. So what was your favorite part about the Big Dipper?
The second drop.
The second drop?
Second drop.
Do you like the tunnel system in it?
Me too, yeah. I love
That was nice. That reminds me of the Beast from King's Island.
The farther you sit backwards, the more rougher it gets.
Oh, if you sit all the way back?
Yeah.
Huh. Did it feel rough to you, Aiden? It is a wooden roller coaster,
He
so.
was on like the second row.
Not first.
We rode the first row in the beginning.
No, I was in the first row, like the first cart. I wonder.
Why
Was
does
there?
this look like it from Fallout?
So yeah, overall a fun roller coaster. We rode it multiple times. Only criticism I have over it, it is an older one, so it definitely does bump you around. But other than that, it was a great ride. Anyways, carrying on here with the left side of the amusement park. Here's what else you can see in real life. There's quite a bit of different rides compared to in-game. And actually something that I figured out, I actually looked up. In-game, you could find this ride right here called Radioactive Roundup. And it's like the ride where you stand up and hold the bars and it just spins you around in circles. Well, it turns out that similar ride used to be at Camden Park a long time ago. It actually got removed in 2016. And Fallout 76 got released in 2018. So it makes me wonder if Bethesda came here in 2015 or something to like plot out how they were going to design it in game. Either way, they set this ride up called Radioactive Roundup around the same exact location where you could find the ride at Camden Park, except it was called Bullseye and not Radioactive Roundup. Yeah, that's about it for the left side when entering the park. Further in this video, I will be showing off more rides, like my perspective riding them, as well as a review over them. But at the moment, I just want to show you more similarities. Like for example, these little shops that you can find at Camden Park. They're like little shops with an overhang that looks like this, and you can find these in game as well. There's just way more of them in game, but I can see where they got the design from. You can find these in Camden Park. However, over here there's also a carousel, and that's not the case in game. It looks entirely different, but they definitely were inspired with some of the buildings in real life and put them in the game. Anyways, now let's move on from this side and let's head on over to the right side of the park when entering it. Over here, there's a lot of differences. There's not a lot of games like you see on the right side here, and there's not also this good food area that you see in game. I will say though, if you do enter the park and keep straight, there are some similarities here compared to in the game on the right side. So it seems like they're inspired by certain areas and things in the park and decided to add what they could in certain places, since you know they have to compact things in the game. Here is a comparison of what it looks like if you take a right when entering the park. So as you just saw, the place where we eat at in-game is non-existent. There's actually a ride there instead called the Whip. And where the games are, there's actually a lift ride that takes you pretty high up to get some nice views of the park. You see the water ride over there.
Yeah, I see it. I think it has two hills. It has one.
There's the parking lot. Entrance. But something they did do well on the right side is the Camden Park Express. This is an actual thing in the park, except instead of being on one of these carts and going around this track that surrounds this whole field, you get on a train. And this goes around the whole area. Obviously, in game, it's more compact like usual, and in real life, it's way larger. Also, over here at the actual park, this area is like a water park. It also has a small roller coaster you can get on called the Little Dipper, as well as some other rides too. I'll get more into those later. But yeah, it looks totally different from in-game over here. In-game, it's just a playground, and it also has a place where you can eat. But they did do a good job with the tracks circling around this field, because that's actually a thing at the actual park too. Here's a quick little tour over walking over in this area past the Camden Park Express. Yeah, it gives off a total different vibe in-game past the Camden Park Express. And this is supposed to be the area too, because, you know, what they did get right is the track surrounding this whole field. And that's the same case for in real life. But they didn't add any water slides or a roller coaster or any kind of rides over here. They didn't even add the big pond. It's just a playground and a place where you can eat at. But hey, at least they got the track right, I guess. Lets us know where we're at the park for the players who have ever seen this place or visited it in real life, like you guys are getting to see now. Okay, so that's about wrapping up the tour over Camden Park and the comparison of it to Fallout 76's Camden Park. Now, let's go ahead and get into the rides. I'm going to be giving you all some point of views for riding some of the rides at Camden Park, as well as some honest thoughts afterwards of the rides from the kids. But yeah, if you want, feel free to stick around. Let's go ahead and get into these. First, I'm going to go ahead and ask my son and nephew what were some of their favorites.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's like my second favorite.
What was your first?
Oh, the Big Dipper.
Yeah, the Big Dipper. What about you, Aiden? What was your favorite?
Probably the big swing.
Oh yeah, the Rattler.
Yeah.
And then what was your second favorite?
Probably this.
This or the Big Dipper?
The Big Dipper.
The Big Dipper you liked more? Yeah, that was relaxing.
It's not like that.
Okay.
Yeah. We're in
Into
the
the haunted
house.
Yep. Into the haunted house we go.
The Dark Ride Artist. This is cool. I don't know. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this one. What'd you think of it?
It was great.
Yeah, I didn't expect the last turn there.
I didn't even know where I was going. But, it was so hard to tell where I was going.
Yeah, it goes deeper than what it looks. That's pretty cool. So, what do you think of the haunted house?
It was really cool.
Yeah. The ending was great, right?
Yeah.
It was too dark to see at the end.
The ending, I kind of got scared by the worker.
Oh.
I couldn't see him from there, and then he just all of a sudden grabbed the cart.
Yep. Oh, at the very end? Yeah.
My daughter's deaf, in case you didn't know, so she signs, and she's signing that it was scary, or, she was scared. But she still liked it and had fun.
Swan ride.
I don't need to pedal.
Wow, this is
Yeah, I'm pedaling for you, buddy. You can pedal if you want, or I can. Oh, you're going to the fountain. We're going through the fountain.
I need
This
to
is
get
pretty
wet.
cool. You could change the direction too with this.
Yeah.
I need to get wet.
Here we go. Get ready. Took a minute to get in that angle. Oh, snap. All right. Mission completed.
Wait, how long are we allowed to stay in on this?
20 minutes. 20 minutes for $6 for 3 people. What do you think, Aiden?
It's great. After in the water, it is fishy.
Feel fish? Or you saw fish?
Yeah.
All right, let's head back to shore. You excited?
Yeah.
Me too. 2 big drops. Well, 1 little one, 1 big one.
I've been seeing that.
All right, the first drop.
See ya. See you, world. See ya. See you, splash.
Woo!
Oh, that's cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second drop's gonna be way faster.
Yeah. Oh God. Welcome to your next day. Welcome to speed. Oh God.
This is nice.
That's so wide.
Yeah.
Except this is a giant hill.
The track goes around this whole park out here, just like in the game. Except there isn't a water park out here. There's like a playground, but the track goes around it, just like in the game. All right, here we go. Second big drop.
That's the goodest ride I ever ride before.
What'd you think?
That's a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Because how not cool it was.
Camera got a little wet, but that's all right.
We were riding the whip.
Yep, riding the whip. You ready?
Oh. Yeah.
What'd you think of the whip?
It was great.
Great?
It wrecked me.
What'd you think?
It was really fast.
Yeah. You like it? Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do it here?
excited?
Yeah.
The little one?
Yeah.
Why? Because it jumped at...
Yeah, all of a sudden he got really fast.
Oh. Alright. That's a little dipper.
Yeah, that just looks like the smaller version of that Kings Island.
Yeah. You excited?
Yeah.
Alright, what are we on?
The teen split.
Yep.
I think.
I think it's the banana split.
No, I want to call
Because it's a big banana in the middle.
Yep, it's banana split.
Alright.
So,
You ready?
yeah.
Here we go. Lots of spinning.
Yeah, but it's like nothing going on. Maybe I say that as the light stops. As we are still, somehow we're still spinning, but it said stop. It's not stopping. It's just magic.
Oh, that's cool.
I like this banana split.
I like it. Whoa! I think that's what it's called, banana split? I don't know.
Or the king split.
Oh.
Because it kind of looks like a crown.
Oh yeah, it does kinda. You're right. Oh well. This one's neat. What do you think? You like it so far?
Yeah. It's a pretty high line, but not super fast spinning one.
Yeah.
It's not like a pony. Not fast speed. It's just a long... At least it's a nice windy line.
Yeah?
It kind of feels nice. We're gonna make this place more popular, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we are. Hayden, what'd you think?
It was a great ride. It was a really great ride, but a high ride and a pretty fast spinning one.
Nice.
But it was a really good ride.
What'd you think, Devin?
It was fun.
Yeah. I like that one. What do you think? So far?
Great. Good.
Good.
Guys, this goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
You see the water ride over there?
Yeah, I see it. I think it has two hills. It has one hill.
There's the parking lot. Entrance. Oh, golf. Yep. Yeah, this isn't in the game. This is cool though.
Oh,
Yeah, there's the boat ride too. We gotta go over there.
oh, and there's a drive boat go back and forth.
Yeah. Looks like some fun, right?
Yeah. Back
We're above the golf course right now.
now.
And there's the parking lot. You can see Camden Park sign over here. Oh, that is right. That's like in the game. The train goes across the park out there in the woods.
And it goes all over here. Oh,
Except there's not a big playground out there like in the woods. Oh yeah, geese.
I was going to jump off right now and do it.
Into the water? No way. Alright, we're going around over here.
Not a bad ride.
There's the train. It takes you around the park.
That is not really scary though.
Here's the turn.
Tease that
At the end of the park.
Tease that giant.
Yeah. You hear the rickety? This has definitely been around for a while.
This is a funny actually ride though.
Huh? Yeah. It is relaxing.
Is there nothing else to it?
Yeah. Just a view.
There's a few.
It stopped. Must be someone getting on. Hey, look. We got some animals over there.
Oh yeah, I see goats. Oh, not goats. I don't know. Those are goats?
Yeah, look like it.
I did the gooses. No, not goose. I don't know what it is. Wait, what?
Roosters?
Yeah. It's goats. I see roosters.
You can hear the goats.
Look how fast is that water ride.
Oh yeah, that looks fun.
There's a water back.
Definitely.
You see the gooses? Those?
Yep.
It's goats.
Be careful.
I'm riding everywhere in this park. Like that. Every sword ride, every fast ride, every
Oh yeah. You excited?
car. Yeah.
Me too.
I cannot wait to ride the whip.
Oh, the whip over there?
Yeah. It whips you around.
Yeah.
That's the ride called the whip.
Yep. It does whip you around the corners, the turns.
But yeah, that's a bunch of different ride POVs. Hopefully this chain reacts many more people to come out and visit this place, because I think that will be a great chain reaction for this park to help better it. It'll reel in more money to help Camden Park and their rides. Maybe that will help them eventually add some new rides, and maybe they'll fix some rides up and renew them, like the Big Dipper, for one big example. I'm going to be showing how well Bethesda made Helvetia in Fallout 76 compared to real life, as you can see. Check this out. But yeah, I guess while I am showing you all this comparison footage, I might as well get into some details on why I even made a trip out to West Virginia in the first place. 4 years ago, actually, I decided to travel all the way out to West Virginia to show off real life locations compared to how they looked in Fallout 76. I planned this trip to be in time to make it to the Fasnacht event as well in West Virginia, which happens once a year, typically in February. I'm glad I made this trip to here because I got to show the compassion and love Bethesda had for making this game. Also, apparently, I might have even helped make Fasnacht in Helvetia, West Virginia more popular, according to this comment in a previous video I made over the experience I had at the Fasnacht celebration in real life. As you can see, the comment said, "I think your video had the desired effect," which this person is talking about what I said in this video. Just hoping to bring more awareness to the Fasnacht event and how I'd love to see the town thrive. But yeah, as you can see, continuing on, this comment said, "This year's Fasnacht celebration had almost 2,000 people attending. They were expecting 200, but they got way more, and I imagine it's because of videos like yours. As someone who grew up going to Fasnacht, and someone who even recognized some of the people and musicians in your video, thank you for promoting this wonderful little town and the event." Which that made my day reading that, because that's what I was hoping to chain react from posting the video. Going to this event just created some great memories to look back on. Which, that video garnered over 145,000 views, and is still growing till this day. I'll have a link to it in the description for y'all to check it out if you haven't, and it'll also pop up at the end of this video too. I suggest checking it out sometime if you're curious on how the real Fasnacht celebration goes in Helvetia, West Virginia. It really does feel good that I might have chain reacted a positive chain reaction for this small town to thrive and make more profit. And of course, also, the video wouldn't have even got out there more without the ones that gave it support by watching it and possibly leaving a like on it and commenting on it. That also helped boost the video more out there so it could reach more people. So everyone who helped support that video I posted a while back also helped support that small town. But yeah, I ended up actually looking into what that person commented on the video and figured out the news even said something about Fasnacht in Helvetia. Check this out.
Past weekend that Helvetia held its annual Fasnacht celebration. Our digital reporter, Sam Gorski, has more.
Helvetia, West Virginia is a little slice of Swiss heritage right here in the hills of West Virginia. Over the weekend, this community of less than 90 residents saw hundreds from across the United States and beyond pour in for the annual Fasnacht celebration. In Helvetia, Fasnacht is a celebration of the end of winter, and that end is celebrated in a variety of ways, mainly with food, drink, spectacular masks, and most notably, an effigy burning of Old Man Winter.
I'm not a local yokel. I'm from Wisconsin, and I had never heard of this before. But my friend's family, they play a video game, of course, called Fallout, which I'm sure lots of people know of. But actually, now living in Ohio, we hear about this festival all the time.
Fallout 76 is a survival adventure game set in West Virginia following a nuclear apocalypse, and players can attend Fasnacht in-game. Fallout 76's influence on attendees was very apparent, and many had dressed up as characters from the Fallout franchise. Of course, accommodating so many people can be a monumental task for such a tiny community, and every year it's up to a small band of volunteers to make it work.
It has fallen on the shoulders of roughly 40 people at the most, and the handful of 5 or 10 are really doing the brunt of the preparations. So it's difficult, but we are so proud and I don't know, very, very glad that people embrace the festival as it is, even with all its flaws.
Layman, who is from Helvetia, said what started for her as a fun party when she was young has now become an important way to continue what came before.
These small communities throughout West Virginia are so important to hold on to. We have so many rich communities throughout this state, and I think Fasnacht is an example of, with very few people and resources, you can really excite and interest a lot of people.
From Helvetia, I'm Sam Gorski for 12 News.
So yeah, that's pretty insane, right? How much that little town's celebration over Fasnacht in Helvetia, West Virginia grew. I'm sure they are very thankful the amount of business that they get each year now. And of course, I just wanted to make this clear, it wasn't just because of that video I made a while back that helped this celebration grow. Let's be real, the main reason why it grew is because of Fallout 76 promoting it in the game. And their player base taking the time and dedication to go out to Helvetia, West Virginia to celebrate this once a year thing. Heck, to be real, I wouldn't have even known about Fasnacht being a real thing if it wasn't for Fallout 76. So I'm definitely not saying I'm the only reason why it grew. I was just saying I might have helped bring more awareness that it's a real event you can attend and how you can attend it. I might have helped inspire a few more people to take a trip out there. As you can see with these masks that were inspired from the game, there were definitely plenty of Fallout 76 fans out there. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into some more details over how well Bethesda recreated Helvetia. Starting off here with the Helvetia sign. This sign and what it says on it is actually inspired from real life. You can actually find this sign over in Helvetia, West Virginia. Here's what the sign says on it. Helvetia, settled by a group of Swiss and German immigrants who came via Brooklyn, New York in 1869. In addition to farmers and herdsmen, many craftsmen and professionals were among the settlers. Stonemasons, carpenters, and painters, wagon, shoe, watch, hat, and cheese makers, musician, teacher, minister, and doctor. Later groups arriving from Switzerland and other parts of U.S. boosted 1874 population to 308. The only major difference is the one in-game is located in town next to the Yellow House, and the one that's in real life is located next to the community hall, which is a little further from that Yellow House, which is a restaurant. Anyway, speaking of the community hall, here's what it looks like in-game from that side compared to real life. And here's what it looks like from the side of the building and the view also that we get. Things are definitely more compact in game compared to real life, which makes sense. If Bethesda tried to make this the same size as real life, it would take absolutely forever to get around. Also, not to mention, could you imagine the download size if they made it the same size as real life? That'd be absolutely insane. Honestly, we'd need like a vehicle to travel around in game if they did try to make it the same size as real life. So it does make sense why they compact areas in game. But yeah, anyways, here's a comparison of what it looks like from the front of the community hall. Not too bad. There are some major differences with the community hall, but either way, I can tell that this was supposed to be the community hall. They did get it in the right place in town. Anyways, from the community hall here, let's go ahead and move up the street toward where the blue and yellow houses are. I gotta say, they did phenomenal work around in this area. I mean, these houses are pretty spot on, as you can see, comparing it to real life. I mean, look at this. Architecture is pretty much the exact same, and these buildings are in the same spots of where they're supposed to be in game. They're set up the exact same. Heck, they even got the little details right. Like around the yellow house, there's a stack of wood in real life, right? As you can see. And in the game, the developers even put a stack of wood here. Freaking amazing. I mean, there's not like a door to enter from this area, but still nonetheless, this is a little detail that the developers added that is similar to real life. It's not the exact same, but it's close enough to be able to tell what this place is in Helvetia. Anyways, moving on, let's now go down this road and look at the architecture from the front of these buildings. As you can see, here is what the yellow house restaurant looks like, and the blue house that's across the street from it looks like compared to the game. They did a phenomenal job once again on these. They even got the little details right on these buildings, such as, for one example, the hearts that are carved out in the white wood on the blue house building. Freaking amazing. But yeah, speaking of amazing, I was actually given the honor to tour the restaurant when there was no one in there besides just the workers, to get footage of what it looks like inside. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this rare footage of a complete tour of the Yellow House restaurant, which the restaurant is actually called the Hevetia restaurant. And I figured out Hevetia actually means a small, simple shelter or house, typically found in rural areas. But yeah, if you're looking for a nice home-cooked meal, I definitely recommend checking this place out if you do come and visit the town. If you do visit the town during the Fasnacht celebration, keep in mind to try to get here earlier because, oh my gosh, it is so slammed if you try to get here while the Fasnacht celebration is going on. So yeah, try to get here a little before the celebration actually starts up because you might not even get to have a seat in here if you try to eat here while the celebration is going on. There's so much decorations and stuff in each area of this place. You can also see some extra Fasnacht masks they have hanging around on the walls in here too. Tried to film some of them while I did go in here, just to show you all some extra masks. They definitely got the Fasnacht Swiss and German vibe going on in here. Suits the theme of this town really nicely. And also there was an upstairs too inside this house, but I didn't go up there just because there's not an upstairs in game, so figured there wasn't really a point to go up there since I did come here to compare this place to the game. But yeah, there is an upstairs in real life at this house. Just wanted to mention that. And keep in mind, this was recorded 4 years ago, so things might have been rearranged a little bit here and there within this place, since they also have more traffic coming here too. So they may have a little bit more room now for seating, since they are expecting more people to come here during the Fasnacht celebration. Anyways, now since you've seen a complete tour over the inside of this restaurant, I'll go ahead and show you all it in game. There is a pretty big difference inside of it, but I gotta say the outside Bethesda nailed it. As you can see though, here's what it looks like inside. Pretty similar with the entrance, and then it starts to get a little different. Things are once again just more compact. You don't see the staircase either within here, like I mentioned before. There is no upstairs in the game. Here's the kitchen within the place. At least they added the kitchen for the restaurant. But yeah, this door just leads outside, inside the kitchen. And then they got this room right here in the front. I mean, there's some similarities here and there inside the place, but of course inside the real restaurant it's way bigger. But yeah, I figured I'd share a tour of inside this restaurant. But yeah, carrying on with the tour, next stop is the Honey House. As you can see, here is what it looks like compared to the game. Freaking insane how accurate they got this. I mean, even with the decorations next to the windows. Anyways, right next to this place, just like in game, you can find the cheese house. I didn't go inside the cheese house and get footage of it, but the outside of it looks great. Anyways, carrying on with this tour, next stop is the Helvetia Star Band Hall. As you can see, here's what it looks like in real life and where it's located at. It's in between the big blue building and kind of near the church, as well as the bridge that connects over to that restaurant that we just toured. Bethesda got the placement of this building spot on. It's right in between where it's supposed to be, the big blue building and the bridge that leads to the restaurant. Of course, once again, things are just more compact in the game. Anyways, inside the Helvetia Star Band, it is very compact in here, and it gets extremely crowded during the Fasnacht celebration. As you can see, here is how crowded it got during the celebration. I was allowed up here at the top to film the area, which, by the way, this area up here is typically off limits just because they don't trust a lot of people up here at once. They don't know how stable it would be with a lot of people, they were mentioning, which makes sense. You don't want a disaster to happen in here. But yeah, inside this place, drinks were being sold, as well as people just playing music and having a good time, and also people were trying to stay warm too from the outside, because it was pretty chilly out here around when the Fasnacht celebration was going on. And by the way, here's what the inside of the Helvetia Star Band Hall looks like in game. Honestly, it looks kind of similar because there's not much going on inside this building. It's just not as spacious and doesn't have an upstairs like the one in real life. Either way, I mean, there's really not much going on inside this building to really say, yeah, it's a huge difference. I mean, they even added the instruments inside of here, which, you know, people do play instruments inside the Helvetia Star Band Hall. Anyways, next up here from the Helvetia Star Band Hall, we're moving on to this big blue building, which this acts as the post office and a mass museum and a general goods store. I mean, it's a little bit of everything inside this place. And I gotta say, Bethesda did a phenomenal job with the accuracy of the architecture of this building. Heck, they really got all the buildings spot on within this small town. Even the placements of them, they did a great job with that too. However, inside, it looks completely different. As you can see, here's what it looks like in real life. In real life, you see just loads of masks hanging around in here. It acts like a museum. This is also where they get their mail at, so it's a post office too in here. And they sell all kinds of goods in here. I mean, you can find toothpaste to chips to oil that you may need for your car. You can just find all kinds of stuff in here. Also, they even sell souvenirs in here. I actually bought me a Helvetia cup from this place, and I still have it till this day and use it. But yeah, I highly recommend to check this place out and, you know, maybe purchase something if you bring some money to help support this small town. They definitely appreciate it. But yeah, here's what it looks like compared to the game inside this place. Here's a little comparison of the outside environment from the porch of this big blue building. And inside, I will say they did get the theme down in here. It is a post office in here, you can tell with all the mailboxes they have set up right when you first enter the place. And also it does act as a store in here as well. The big difference is the layout of this place. Only thing really they needed to make the theme even better in here is just to add a few mask decorations hanging around in here. But yeah, I will mention the layout though of this building is pretty different though, as you can see with like how they have the walls set up in here and stuff, dividing the different rooms, and also how you get upstairs in this building is different from real life. But for the most part, they did a solid job, especially with the outside of this building. And heck, all of the buildings, once again, they absolutely nailed the architecture of them. I mean, here we are outside. You can get a good view of the church coming out here on the top deck, which, speaking of the church, that's what I'm going to be covering next. As you can see, here's what it looks like in real life. Looks very similar to the one in game. Once again, the major difference is it's further away in real life compared to in game. Bethesda compact the environment around in game. I will also say the architecture is a bit different. I mean, they got it for the most part looking similar, but like the entrance to the church is on a different side compared to real life, and it seems to be taller in game compared to real life. And there's no sign out front to describe what kind of church it is in the game. In real life, it states that it's a Presbyterian church. But another good thing, though, about how they did this, they did get it in the same spot of where it's supposed to be at compared to real life. So, yeah, there's a few differences with the church, but for the most part, at least you can tell what it's supposed to be. Anyways, carrying on here, lastly, I'm going to go over the area where all the cabins are at and the gazebo out here in the field next to the church and the Helvetia Star Band Hall. As you can see, starting off here, the bridge connecting over to this area is different compared to in-game. The bridge connecting over to the area in-game is over by the Yellow House restaurant. There is no bridge that connects over here where it's supposed to be in-game. There's no creek that flows in this vicinity either. The creek flows over there by the Helvetia restaurant in-game. But they got the layout over in this area really good. As you can see, they got the gazebo here and the multiple cabins and where it's supposed to be as well. You can see where the Helvetia Star Band Hall is located at from over here, as well as the blue big building that acts as the general store, post office, and mass museum. So yeah, overall they did a solid job with this. By the way, this area is actually called the Historic Square, and they did get the library over in this area right too. As you see, before even entering this area in real life, it states that the Helvetia Public Library is over in the Historic Square. And yeah, you can find the library in game too, right where it's supposed to be. And it's a very similar structure as the one in real life. So they definitely did their research before making this place. It's nice to see. And there's also this similarity too with this area that you can take a picture at the Historic Square of Helvetia. They just have it in a different spot. Pretty cool though that they even added this. But yeah, there you guys have it though, an in-depth tour over comparing Helvetia to Fallout 76's Helvetia. I gotta say, Bethesda did a phenomenal job recreating this small town in game. Would love to know your guys' thoughts over all of this. Good old Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where the Mothman originated from. Now, the question is, where should I even start at this location for this comparison? You know what? I guess I'll start from entering into Point Pleasant from Ohio. Now, this footage that you're seeing right here is a bunch of still images that I got from Google Maps to get the point across of what it feels like crossing over this bridge. As you can see, this bridge is green, and it does have a similar design as the bridge that we see in the game, which is pretty cool. Of course, it's not the same size though. They did have to compress it to make it fit into Fallout 76. If they had everything the exact same size as in real life, this game would be even more massive than how it already is. I mean, just think about it. We would definitely be needing some kind of transportation around the game, because getting from one side of the map to the other side would just be endless amount of hours if they had everything the exact same size compared to real life. By the way, this bridge is called Bartow Jones Bridge, and it was built in 1998. Anyways, when we get to the end of this and get to this intersection here, if we look over to our right, we can notice a bank with a green sign on the bank's property. If we zoom in onto this green sign, as you can see, it reads, "Welcome to Historic Point Pleasant, where history and rivers meet, since 1794. This is the same sign that we see before entering Point Pleasant in the game. So that's a little bit of a difference here. You see the sign in real life after you enter Point Pleasant, and in the game you see it beforehand. But at least Bethesda added the same historic sign in Fallout 76. And not to mention something else that's pretty interesting that Bethesda got right. Once you get to the intersection after crossing Bartow Jones Bridge in game, as you see, if you look to your right, there's actually a bank building. And as we just saw in real life, after crossing the bridge, there's a bank on the right. That's where, once again, the sign was at. So that's something they got pretty accurate right there, and how we know we're on the right track of this being Bartow Jones Bridge in game. Next up here, I'm going to cover the Mothman Museum in Point Pleasant. This is the only Mothman museum in the world, just because apparently Point Pleasant, West Virginia is the home of the Mothman. Now, getting to the museum itself is pretty straightforward in the game. As you can see from the intersection here, we just head straight past the bank on the right, and boom, we're at the location. However, in real life, it's a bit further. You still go straight past the bank on the right with the historic sign, but it's not directly past it like it is in the game. We're going to have to keep straight for a bit longer, and it'll actually be up here on our left. This street will lead to the Mothman statue as well as the Mothman Museum. It's a pretty short road. So now if we just go a little bit more up on 4th Street here past the museum and turn around, we can get a nice view of the museum along with the Mothman statue. To get this point of view, you'd have to be on 400 Main Street, which is what the 4th Street leads to. Now let's go ahead and compare on how well Bethesda got this area in game. As you can see, here's what the museum looks like in Fallout 76, and here's what it looks like in person across the street from it. I'd say they did a pretty good job. Not to mention, the statue is on the right, just like in the game as well. Speaking of the statue, now let's go ahead and take a look at that. I will say it is different in real life, because there's those roads that connect over to 400 Main Street, which is the street that the Mothman Museum is on, and in the game there aren't any roads that connect to where the Mothman Museum is. There's just these staircases. However, besides the environment, the statue itself is pretty identical. The only difference really is that the wings are spread out in game, and they aren't so much in real life. Also, another difference to point out is that you'll notice in game that there's this plating underneath the Mothman statue itself, and on that plating it says nothing. However, if you go to it in person, you will notice that there is some historical writing on that plating. And here's what it says. Legend of the Mothman. On a chilly fall night in November 1966, two young couples drove into the TNT area north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when they realized they were not alone. What they saw that night has evolved into one of the great mysteries of all time, hence the Mothman legacy began. It has grown into a phenomenon known all over the world by millions of curious people asking questions. What really happened? What did these people see? Has it been seen since? It still sparks the world's curiosity, the mystery behind Point Pleasant, West Virginia's Mothman. And at the bottom it states that the sculpture was created by Bob Roach in New Haven, West Virginia. This is what he looked like. And here he is helping set up the statue in town to unveil it. Unfortunately, however, Bob Roach passed away at age 81, but his legacy over his Mothman statue still remains in Point Pleasant, where tourists around the world go and visit it just to see it in person and to take pictures by it, which is pretty awesome. Now, some other historical facts that I wanted to mention about Point Pleasant. In case you don't know, they hold an annual Mothman festival right here where this statue is placed at, right next to the Mothman Museum. And at this festival, they actually give tours of the TNT bunkers, where apparently the first sighting of the Mothman happened at. And there are loads of TNT bunkers. I'm not exactly sure on the exact number of them, but they're on thousands of acres of land in the woods. So there's tons of them. This area is otherwise known as the home of the Mothman. This is a festival that I highly recommend attending, especially if you are a Fallout fan. As you can see here, Bethesda actually sponsored with the Mothman Festival. They were handing out Vault Tech party hats, Vault Boy mask, Vault Tech cups, and just some other random Fallout party utensils. Pretty sweet. In case you're thinking about attending the Mothman Festival this year for 2020, the date of it will begin September 19th, as you can see here, till the 20th. I'll have a link in the description to the event's Facebook page if you want to stay in the loop of it. But yeah, the Mothman Festival has been a continued event to help support the town for quite some time. The first one started back in 2002. And then a year later, in 2003, Bob Roach set up this 12-foot tall metallic statue of the creature in town. And then 2 years later, in 2005, the Mothman Museum and Research Center officially opened. And it was created by Jeff Walmsley. This is what he looks like. And it's absolutely phenomenal inside. It has tons of historical facts in the place. Keep in mind, this is the only Mothman museum in the world, so it's pretty awesome that Jeff Walmsley decided to make this to keep the history alive. Inside the museum, you can find what was known about the Mothman, of course. There is many art pieces inside the place over the phenomenon. There's also many stuff that was used within the Mothman Prophecies movie that was made to keep the tale alive as well. I don't know if y'all have seen that movie, but it's pretty good and I highly recommend it if you want to learn more about the Mothman. Also, you can find history over the devastating collapse of the Silver Bridge that happened on December 15th of 1967. Some people thought the Mothman was a warning over the devastation because it started to be sighted close to the collapse, and also was reported to be seen on top of the bridge, as you can see in this picture here. There's also other rumors suggesting it was a bad omen, like a demon. 46 people unfortunately died in this devastation that happened many years ago. But it's cool to see the history remain alive within this museum. You can even see newspaper articles inside this place that were written over this subject back in the 1960s. I even noticed that there was a rescue helmet inside here that was donated to the museum, and this is one of the helmets that were used to recover the victims when the bridge collapsed. Pretty neat. This place has a lot of interesting facts inside here, as well as rumors around the town that were reported from multiple people. Something that's also in here that's mysterious that I think you all might find interesting, besides the Mothman, are the men in black. Yeah, kind of like the movie. These mysterious men were reported being seen pretty much everywhere around when this incident happened, and people started to talk about the Mothman being spotted. It was stated that some of the men in black that were spotted were reported to having expressionless faces and movements, sometimes appearing to have been robotic. It was stated that they usually traveled in groups of 2 or 3 and drove large black old-fashioned cars that resembled Lincolns and Cadillacs with strange logos on them. And what was even more odd about the men in black, when they were asking witnesses over what they saw, it was said by the witnesses that it seemed like they already knew what they were talking about. There were different reports on what the townfolk thought they were. Some thought the men in black were aliens, some thought they were government agents, some thought they were from a spiritual realm. Who or whatever they were, they definitely left a strong impression on those who witnessed the mysterious men when they roamed the streets of Point Pleasant. So yeah, that's a quick overview over the Mothman Museum. There's loads more information than what I just discussed. If you're interested in it, just feel free to visit yourself. It's a really interesting place. And not to mention, they do sell merchandise inside too. They also specifically sell Fallout merchandise inside as well. Might as well mention that because I know Fallout fans are watching this. I'd say Bethesda did a pretty impressive job recreating the Mothman Museum in game. On the outside anyways. Once again, here's a point of view of the front of the building compared to the game. Looks pretty accurate, and if you get a point of view from behind the Mothman statue and look to the side of the museum, you will notice that Bethesda did add the Mothman Museum in writing, kind of like how it is in real life, except it's just 2 different logos. But still, they both state the Mothman Museum. Also, here's a view of being on the street in front of the museum compared to the game. Pretty good job. And here's a comparison of walking on the sidewalk in front of the building. Once again, pretty identical. However, inside the museum, I have to say it does look pretty different. But it does get the point across. As you can see, this is what it looks like when you first enter the building in real life. And here's what it looks like in the game. So yeah, there's a pretty big difference there. When you first enter the building in real life, you're entering into the gift shop. And then you can pay an admission fee to go into the actual museum to check out what's all inside. I already gave you a pretty good tour over what to expect inside of it. But yeah, here's a quick overview of what to expect in the gift shop. Like I mentioned before, there's a pretty big difference here, but at least in the game it does get the point across. And no, there isn't no like secret lair in the restrooms or whatever in the actual Mothman Museum. And not to mention, at the moment anyways, I don't know if they plan on expanding this in the future, but upstairs is only accessible to management. Okay, so that's the Mothman Museum compared to the game. Now let's go ahead and take a step outside and head on over to the Ohio River. As you can see, there's the Mothman statue. We're pretty much right outside of the museum now. Let's go ahead and turn around here, and if we go this way, this actually leads to the Ohio River. Now I have to say, for the most part, this is highly identical, especially right here when we get over to the staircase that leads down to the Ohio River. It has the same frame, just like the game. Extremely identical. I mean, you even get to this area in Fallout 76 the same way as you do in real life. As you can see, the only major difference here is, of course, the area is more compressed, like I was mentioning at the beginning of this video, and there's this huge defensive wall here because of the apocalypse happening. However, on the other side of the wall, it leads straight to that area. And of course, the other difference is there's none of that creepy stuff at the bottom of the staircase. Speaking of the bottom, here is a bottom view of the area compared to the game. Once again, extremely identical. Bethesda did a very good job on this area. And just thought I'd mention this real quick. At the Mothman festival here, they actually set up a stage at this area at the bottom of these stairs and have like a little concert here, as well as a cosplay competition. The Mothman festival is highly entertaining, even if you don't technically believe in the Mothman. It's just a bunch of good people meeting up together and having a good time. Now lastly up here, I wanted to talk about the Silver Bridge. As you can see, in real life, it's located right of the stairs here, if we're looking up at them from the bottom view. Now in game, it's actually located to the left from the stairs. And I believe the reason why it's located on this side is because, as I just mentioned previously, the Silver Bridge did collapse back in 1967 on December 15th. And when it was finished being rebuilt in 1969, it stated that it was built 1 mile downstream from the original. As you can see here, it's stated in the Wikipedia. So I believe Bethesda was just making the bridge where it originally collapsed at. Keep in mind, however, the game is compressed compared to real life. Nonetheless, this is definitely the Silver Bridge when it collapsed. You can literally find a sign right before getting on this bridge that talks about the collapse, how it was built in 1928, and when it officially got destroyed. You know, now that I look at this picture again, it used to be on the left side of these stairs from the bottom view, because you can see that railroad bridge in the background of the collapsed Silver Bridge. That's crazy. So that is what Bethesda is representing. They actually placed the bridge where it originally collapsed at. Pretty crazy. Here's what it looks like, by the way, driving across the new Silver Memorial Bridge. It's pretty nice. And it's the same scenario as the Bartow Jones Bridge in game. It's not nearly as big as it is in real life, however it does have a pretty similar design like it. And of course it doesn't have any like apocalyptic setup as we see in the game with these defense towers and whatnot. Anyway, something else that I wanted to show you all that Bethesda secretly added in as an Easter egg to this devastation is this Christmas tree down the bottom of the river underneath the bridge. Like I mentioned to you all before, the bridge collapsed on December 15th, 1967, so around Christmas time, sadly. And that is why Bethesda decided to add this Christmas tree down below here, to represent the devastation a little bit more. It's kind of sad how many people lost their lives right around Christmas time. Once again, 46 lives were lost because of this devastation, and may they all rest in peace. I highly recommend to check out the Mothman Prophecies movie. If you haven't, it gets into more detail about all of this. But yeah, I guess that's wrapping up this video, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this overview of Point Pleasant in real life compared to Fallout 76's Point Pleasant. This took forever to make. If you haven't subscribed, consider giving my channel a chance and sticking around and subscribing. And if you find this enjoyable, consider taking a little bit of your time and leaving a like. That'd be greatly appreciated because it helps get the video passed more around so more people can learn about this information. But yeah, I really have nothing else to say. I hope you all enjoy this. Not only does it show Bethesda's dedication to their game, but it also goes over a lot of West Virginia history. Feel free to share this with someone. That would be amazing, but you know, that's totally up to you if you want to take the time to do that. But yeah, I'm out of here though, everyone. As always, most importantly, I appreciate you all taking the time watching and listening to this. Until next time, peace.